that my own was just piling up, waiting to, when they say the patient dog is the fattest bone, I had the fattest pimple. So really, really bad. Like I had like boils on my face. It was that bad, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Alright guys, so today I am dressed this way because as the title reads, today is going to be all about skincare. Um I should have some things written down. Give me a sec. Alright guys, so I have a little notepad here. I should just wrote this down. I should have written this earlier, but I think I should be able to provide all the details on here. I really don't want to split this video into two, so I'm going to keep it as brief as possible. So grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and let's do that. So I guess first of all, I'll talk about my history with acne, pimples, whatever you want to call them. I think pimples are a type of acne, but don't quote me on that, okay? Um, but my history with it is pretty much throughout secondary school. While a couple of my classmates were breaking out, I never broke out. Like I never had that puberty acne or whatever. Like my skin was so good. Like I used to have a girl literally compliment my skin, and back then I took it for granted because I was like, why is this girl always complimenting my skin? Like skin is skin. I didn't understand. So, but then a couple of us back then were breaking out. I did not know that my own was just piling up, waiting to, when they say the patient dog is the fattest bone, I had the fattest pimple. So, throughout secondary school, no, almost actually, yeah, throughout secondary school, when I was actually in school, not too much of an issue. However, after, and this was, I was probably like 16, I would say, that was when I finished wrote my WAEC and all of that. And during that period, you will go home earlier and then you come back to school for your graduation. My graduation pictures, actually, if I can, I will look for a couple that were not as edited, because my secondary school graduation, I still remember it being like my self-esteem was zero. I wasn't happy because as at the time I went back home for holidays, I don't know if it was because of what I was eating or maybe it was just time for mine to start, but I started breaking out really, really bad. Like I had like boils on my face. It was that bad, guys. It was really horrible. It's really where the journey started for me. I did at a point, you know how it is with Nigeria, like my mom recommended some soaps for me. I would use them, they would keep them at bay a little bit, they would come back. So it was just up and down. Fast forward to uni, because I did spend a year at home before I actually went to uni, which a lot of us can relate to. If you can't, good for you, but I spent a year at home. That year was when I was trying different soaps, so up and down. My year one, as at my year one, I had a soap I was using then. I think it was Crusader. I will never forget. That soap used to burn my face. So it was like it would burn out the pimple and it literally peeled my face. But my face was okay in year one. But at the point, I guess the Crusader soap started to like burn my protective layer or whatever I'll call it. And looking back now, like somebody will probably be looking at my skin and be like, "Oh, why is she talking skincare? Her skin isn't like 100%." I know, okay, I know, but looking at my skin now, it's come such a long way. But if there was something I could change, it would be some decisions I made earlier on. Because I know that some of the scarring I have on right now is because of those decisions. Some decisions I made back then. The Crusader is one of them. The Crusader soap, if you're a Nigerian, you should know Crusader soap. If you don't, I'll try to attach it here, a picture up here or something. You don't know it? Okay, you're not a woman now. If you're a Nigerian woman, you should know Crusader soap. But yes. So year one, it was okay, but as a year two, I think it started to burn on my protective layer, so I started to break out again. It got to a point that really impeded on my self-esteem, if that's the right English, but it had destroyed my self-esteem. I wasn't going to classes as much. And some experiences I have just let me know, like, you don't really know what someone is going through. Don't just feel like, oh, this person not come to class because they want to come to class. But yeah, I didn't want to go to class, especially in my year three was when I started really looking into the internet and looking at skincare, like for real, for real. and not just taking advice from any random person like use this Epidem, use Skinel. I was done because clearly those weren't working. Looking into it, I started discovering some skincare stuff. I discovered Neutrogena at the time. My mom would send me money, guys, and first thing I would do would be to use like 5K that time or 4K to go and buy skincare. I had skincare. But nothing was really working. Neutrogena would work a little, stop a little. I said messing around with salicylic acid, you know, and I guess that's also good because now I know what my skin likes and what my skin hates. So even if someone is like, use this product, I'll be like, yeah, based on my track record, my skin ain't gonna like that, okay? But that was a trial and error period for me. It was working, but nothing was really working, and I still knew something was up. And then I stumbled upon a couple of videos, and that brings me to my next item here, number two, which would be about my diet. So as at my final year ish, decided to cut the raw, not complete. Even till today, I'm not like completely 100% dairy free, but I would say perhaps 90, maybe 90%. At least compared to what I used to take before. So I had watched a video of a girl who, like, her skin had like, not like mine was learning work. Like, I had a lot of, like, I wish I had pictures from that time, but I was so insecure I refused to take any pictures. But I was, my skin was really horrible, to be honest. Like, when I remember the one picture I took, when my friend showed me the picture, I actually started crying. That was how bad it was. But when I saw her, when I was like, oh my god, this girl's face is even way worse. But like the transformation she had over a period, and that was because she changed her diet. She cut out dairy because she also stumbled upon a doctor's video, a video that mentioned that dairy, some people, this fault, not everyone, but for some people, dairy kind of, it's kind of like, well, there's research on it. Check the internet. I don't want to say rubbish here. I'm not a doctor, but apparently dairy, just like it does for the babies of cow, can lead to growth and inflammation or something like that. So okay, let's try it out, and I did. And I would say that was really where I really felt like assessing results, because I felt like my skincare was now actually working. It wasn't working before, but when I reduced, I didn't, back then I didn't cut it out completely, but like I used to love my cereal. I used to love like cabin flakes. We all know cabin flakes. If you went to boarding school, you already know. I think those were the two major things. I never really stick ice cream or yogurt because I couldn't afford it. All right, but my skin got a little bit better. It wasn't 100% still, but it was better. It's better enough that I could go out in a day. And that was another thing I used to suffer in school back then. I'll literally be in a keke. Some random person will be like, "Oh, are you using anything for your," like, I used to get unsolicited advice. Everybody wanted to give me advice. While my skin was getting better, it still wasn't 100%, and that was when I stumbled upon acne.org. If you struggle with pimples or acne, especially if you're not in Nigeria, even Nigerians know about it now, but I will of course insert a picture. Acne.org was created by a dermatologist. I think he's a dermatologist. His name is Daniel. Also suffered with pimples and didn't really find anything that worked. And I think he stumbled upon benzoyl peroxide, but I think one of the challenges he had was benzoyl peroxide wasn't made in the right strength. So typically you could see it in like 10%. In fact, I personally back then used a benzoyl peroxide that was 10% before I even knew what it was. It was in Panoxyl, I think it was Panoxyl 10, and I didn't know how to use it. So I literally used it one night, and I woke up the next morning and my skin was completely clear. Like my friend back then was like, Chinelo, did you rub juju on your face last night? But after a little while, the acne came back in full force. So benzoyl peroxide needs to be in the right concentration and used properly for it to work for you. For more information on that, feel free to browse the acne.org website. It will explain the three-step program. So it has a routine, it has the face wash, the treatment, and the lotion. So back then I had gotten all three. I had a friend in the UK back then, and my bunkie actually, thank you, bunkie. She was in the UK, and I had ordered it back then. Naira card used to work, and then they gave it to her, and then she brought it for me. So that was amazing. But Acne.org was one game changer for me. I think Acne.org and reducing my dairy intake was a huge game changer for me. Now, fast forward to after I felt like my pimples started to reduce. I now had dealt with hyperpigmentation. Whew, sorry guys, I'm a little distracted in this video. A lot is still going on, but I just want to shoot this video because I have been postponing postponing I've been pushing it back for a while. So yeah. So like I said, when pimples, I felt like pimples was a little bit better. My major focus, like as at that time, like in my like right now, I think the only spot I have here is this, and that's because my it's almost that time of the month, which happens, we all know. But this is probably the first time in maybe 10 years, to be fair, because I'm 28 now. My skin has been this clear. Brings me to my next point was trying out different things. So from trying out steroid creams, we all know steroid creams. We have it a lot in Nigeria. Um, Steroid creams make it better, then make it worse. To trying out organic skincare products. In fact, there's this popular one that sponsors a lot of celebrities. And I don't blame people for using organic skincare. To be honest, maybe if you like, my mom uses that same face cream and my mom's skin is amazing. So I would say organic skincare might be okay if you normally have unproblematic skin like my mom. But if you have problematic skin, like sensitive skin prone to inflammation, I would steer clear of Nigerian organic skincare because it might do you more harm than good. So I went into organic skincare. In fact, I have a picture of one time I was doing one organic skincare product that broke me out. I'll probably send it here. I know I sent that picture to someone on Instagram, so I should still have a copy of that, and I'll attach it here. So that became my major issue, was hyperpigmentation and stuff, and organic skincare kind of made it worse. And that was where I sat down and I made the decision of two things: was not to overestimate what a product can do for me in one day, and not to underestimate what good skincare practices can do to me over a long period of time. That was the first thing. I'm sorry. The second thing was to embrace my natural color. You know how Nigerians, we have this thing where it's like, oh, you're getting dark, you're getting fair. It's like all these roller coasters. I decided to, use things that are healthy for my skin and not bother about whether I'm getting fair or not. And that was the best decision I made, because once I switched up my skincare routine, which is what I'm about to share with you now, and I also really prayed about it because I was really tired of spending and wasting my money and being depressed every time I looked at the mirror. And I thank God that He answered my prayers. I also thank God for provision, because guys, don't let anybody deceive you. Skincare is expensive, and that's why people opt for organic skincare. For example, that face cream that I used, that I had to stop using, the organic one that my mom uses now, that is really amazing on her skin. And she's been using it for a while, really amazing on her skin. It cost maybe like under 10K, and under 10K was just nice because it moisturized the face and also takes care of hyperpigmentation. However, there had to be something in it because eventually my skin started to react really bad and give me even more hyperpigmentation, so it was a mess. But yeah, so this is more of my skincare routine now. I really hope this video is not going to be so long, but I wanted to give you guys a little background of my skincare. So if you are watching this, hopefully use it for yourself. You know the kind of skin I have and the journey I've been on. So just to say that again, I have sensitive skin. As you can tell, I have large pores. So I have large pores. I have sensitive skin. My skin is also oily. I have large pores, and yeah, and I would say my skin on my body is less sensitive, but my chest area and my back area here are prone to actually getting pimples, which people that have pimples or acne can probably relate to. So now let's talk about the actual skincare routine that I have going on right now. So first of all, we'll start with my face. So washing my face. So I have two things that I use to wash my face that have been working really well for me. So the first one would be this one. um I share this every time I talk skincare on my channel. Even on my Instagram, I recently posted like a skincare reel, and I brought this up. But this is the Nokaire neem black soap. I don't know if it actually does contain neem, like neem is aloe vera, but if it does, it must be in the right ratio or something. I don't know, but this Black soap is amazing. Even my significant other uses this as well, and he loves it because he also has he's prone to breaking out as well. He absolutely loves it. This used to cost, it has changed prices over time. It used to cost 3,000 and 3,500. I think now it's at 4 or 4,500, depending on where you get it from. Personally, I get mine from utopia.com. I will probably leave it here, but this is amazing. Like this alone, whew, like I really feel it doesn't dry out the skin. It helps keep my pimple at bay, but it doesn't dry out the skin in a way that I can use this black soap and still use some skincare with active ingredients. Whereas there are some black soaps, like even Dudu, or I don't know if it's Dudu or Shun or Dudu or Sun, you can't use that Dudu or Shun and use some active ingredients. Your skin would react. But this somehow works. I don't know how they did it, but this really works. It's amazing. So again, this is from Nokare and it's the Neem black soap. My second favorite cleanser would be this regular baby wash. If you have and that's one thing I learned over time, and that's one thing I want to take away from this. If you're actively, like, if you have serious breakouts on your face like everywhere, don't feel like you need to be too harsh on your face to peel off your face. No. If you are using an active ingredient like benzoyl peroxide, maybe a strong salicylic acid, an acid peel, maybe a 10-minute acid peel, try to always use a gentle cleanser. Like, even there's an acid peel, I will still show you that whenever I want to do that, I always opt for this to wash my face that whole day. Like, for example, if I want to do that peel tomorrow evening, because I like to do it in the evening, tomorrow morning I will use this, tomorrow night I will use this before I use that peel. Typically, after I wash my face, the next step for me would be to tone my face, and I'll show you two of my favorite toners. I heard the Neem Black Soap, by the way, I heard about from Dima Omi. So shout out to Dima Omi. Her videos are really, really helpful because I think we have, well, her skin is definitely better than mine, but I feel like we have similar. And that's another thing. Watch videos of people that have similar skin types as you to really help. So I got So I heard about this Bolding Skin Brightening Toner. Now this has glycolic acid. I don't think it says the percentage of it, but it has glycolic acid, it has witch hazel and whatnot. So it says it diminishes the appearance of dark spots, tightens and refines pores, prevents breakouts, controls oil and shine, and I can say these are all true. This is an amazing toner. I did find, however, that during some harsh weather conditions, like whenever it's Hamatan, this tends to be too harsh on my skin and might even break me out a little bit. So I would typically use this like now that the weather is rainy, or whenever the weather is maybe hot, but whenever it's Hamatan, I try to stay clear of this. So I don't use this as much anymore, but this is a really good toner. I have a new glycolic acid toner that I've been preferring to this one. For some reason, sometimes when you have oily skin, you feel like you need to dry out your face. This doesn't dry out your face, by the way. I'm not sure, but I don't think it contains alcohol. I'm not sure. But it doesn't dry up your face or anything, but it's a little bit harsh. It's just a little bit harsh. I use it once in a while now. This, however, is my new favorite toner. Like you can see, I'm almost out of this one. Almost out, almost out. But this is my new favorite toner. This is the glycolic exfoliating toner, formulated with glycolic acid and galactomyces ferment to gently remove dead skin cells and promote glowing skin. And this is from Good Molecules. By the way, guys, Good Molecules, their products are really good. I really hope they stick to the same consistency and they don't change their formula. Or even if they change it for the better and not for the worse or water it down. But their products are really nice. This is my new favorite toner. It really helps keep my pimple at bay. It really does help to make my skin look a little bit brighter, and this runs for about 10k, and I think this is about the same price, 10k or a little cheaper, I'm not sure, but that's the typical price I get these two at. So I guess after that, the next thing I would typically follow up with would be some sort of treatment. Right now the only treatment I use is the acne.org benzoyl peroxide treatment. um I would now use, and that's why I typically like buying the small size, but I can't always find the small size here in Nigeria. I usually get my acne.org from a skincare brand called My Skincare Plug. That's where I get my acne.org from in Nigeria now. And just in case you don't know, you cannot get acne.org shipped to you from their website or from Amazon to Nigeria. I don't know why. So typically, if I have a family member coming back, or I'll look for a Nigerian vendor that carries it. And so far, my skincare plug is the only vendor I see that consistently stocks this. So feel free to check. Like for example, what I would do is after I wash my face and I tone, and I don't have active breakouts on my face, I'll just use this to like spot treat. So I'll just put like a tad bit here, put a tad bit there after I tone my face. Now, if I have, like back then when I had breakouts all over my face, I will probably not use that toner and this at the same time because they are two active ingredients. The toner has glycolic acid. Is it glycolic or glycol? Yeah, it's glycolic acid, and this has benzoyl peroxide. So, for example, I can decide to use the toner at night, and in the morning, I'll just rub this all over my face. Does that make sense? If that doesn't make sense, you could comment down below and I'll explain it better. But I try not to mix active ingredients together. And then the next thing I would do would be to moisturize my face. Today I do have three moisturizers to show you. If you have oily skin, don't be deceived into thinking that you do not need a moisturizer. Guys, let me get some water. My throat is really dry. Anywho, so I have three moisturizers to share with you today. So the moisturizers I have, let me start with the biggest one. So this is from Cetaphil. We all know this one. Whenever you want to get this one, I would say look out for what it says. So this says lightweight. I think it says for all skin types. There are some that say dry skin. I don't think I really see the one for oily skin that often in Nigeria. I think that one is even smaller. But look for the one that says lightweight. Excuse me. Make sure it says lightweight because you have oily skin. You need to moisturize. And that was what I was saying. If you have oily skin, don't be deceived to think that you don't need to moisturize. You need to moisturize. So I'm not really good at explaining it, but this is what I understand. So oily skin, your skin kind of overcompensates for the lack of oil on your face due to whatever reason. And if you don't moisturize your face, your skin will be forced to bring out that oil. So that's why you see people that have oily skin. If you don't moisturize, your face will be really greasy as opposed to me. Like right now, my skin is moisturized, but I know it's not greasy. I can feel it, if that makes sense. So it's good to moisturize so that way your skin doesn't feel the need to produce that extra grease by itself because it already feels greased up, if that makes sense. But you still need a lightweight, non-comedogenic moisturizer. That's why I like this set, and it's huge. Like you can see, it's like half a liter, more a little over half a liter. So next would be this one. I have been seeing this moisturizer even right from when I was in uni. I've been hearing about this moisturizer, but I've never really used it. This is my first time, and I was like, why haven't I used it? This is what I have on right now. This moisturizer is amazing. Like it's amazing. It doesn't break me out. It's truly oil free. So it says it's for sensitive skin. It won't clog your pores. It's hypoallergenic. It's fragrance free and alcohol free. It's amazing. Like if I ever hit the US or anywhere outside Nigeria and I see this, I'll probably buy like four. And I love the bottle. The pump makes it so easy, so you're not wasting products. This is like one of the best. And I'm not. I don't really feel Neutrogena these days, but this is like one of the hands down the best product that Neutrogena ever made. It is amazing. Last but definitely not least, in my favorite moisturizer, the top is off, but this is from acne.org. Also got this from my skincare plug. This moisturizer is just amazing. One thing I love about this moisturizer, you know how sometimes you use a skincare product, maybe like a toner that is harsh on your skin and you start to see little bumps on your face? Or you just have like, I don't know how to explain it. It happens sometimes, like just little bumps on your face. It's not pimples. It's more like your skin just being a little bit hyperactive. I don't know the word to use, but it calms it down. That's one thing I noticed. It has a soothing effect on your skin and it calms your skin down. So this moisturizer is amazing. It contains licorice, which is good for brightening and calming the skin. So this is amazing. I just have a little bit left. I'm missing it. I don't use it as much, but yeah, that's it. So I forgot to mention after I spoke about my moisturizers, or after I spoke about my toners, after I spoke about the treatments. So what I do is I tone, I apply a like now I just spot treat. After I spot treat and it dries down, the next thing I will do is to apply a toner. My toner got finished and I haven't restocked in like 3 weeks. So that's why, because I couldn't find this particular one, but that's why I forgot to mention it. But this is the Good Molecules Daily Brightening Toners serum. Sorry, serum. I actually just restocked this literally today. This is hands down one of my favorite serums. This helps with hyperpigmentation, also helps calm my skin down and all of that. This I went hard on a lot of Good Molecules products a while ago, and it really helps with my hyperpigmentation. So this has beta arbutin and hyaluronic acid. I know hyaluronic acid is for moisture. I'm not really sure what beta arbutin is for, but it just gently brightens the skin, and I really love it. Now, be warned, this serum stinks. It literally smells like fish, but it works. I think it really works. It's not easy to reach out for. Sometimes I forget that I even have it, mainly because when you apply this, it feels weird on the skin. It smells weird, and then it feels weird. It almost feels like it's blocking all my pores. A lot of the times when I sleep and I wake up, my skin looks better. Faded from topicals, and is their brightening and clearing serum. To be honest, I'm not really sure what it contains, but I did check online. I know it contains AHAs, okay, it contains, I'm wrong. It contains AHAs, BHAs, and retinols. So this is also one of my favorite serums. Now, just like I said about the acne.org, any night that I know I'm going to use this, I'll most likely use a milder, which is maybe like the baby wash, or even if I use the black soap, but ideally I'll use the baby wash. Then I will skip my toner and use this straight up. If I forget and apply my toner, I am not using this again. On the packet, it clearly wants to not mix this with any other active ingredient. My toner has glycolic acid, so if I'm using my toner, I would not use this. So I only use this on nights where I'm not using my toner. So I don't use this every night. This is more of my everyday serum, and this is more like once or twice a week for me. So typically, after I apply my daily serum, I would apply my moisturizer. So now we can talk about daytime. So now, say daytime comes, it's daytime, and I want to go out. We all know sunscreen is important to help hyperpigmentation. I didn't know this before, but sunscreen really helps me change. I feel like it was a small thing, and I'm black. Black don't crack, black don't get. But then I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense to be using all these things to clear your hyperpigmentation, and then you go to the sun and the sun is blackening your skin again. So I try to use sunscreens as often as I can. First one here is Banana Boat. This is really inexpensive. You can get this on Amazon. I think I've only seen this once on shelves in a supermarket or a skincare shop, but I didn't see it again. But this literally cost me very small money back then. It wasn't expensive. And I sent it to my uncle, and my uncle bought it for me. I use this on my face and my body, and this does not break me out. So if you are looking for an inexpensive sunblock, use this. The next one, I got introduced to it by an old friend, and this is Aqua. It's SPF 50. We both have similar skin, and in one of my videos, I actually mentioned when I bought this. I think one of my recent videos. I will leave a link here so you see where I got it from. But yeah, this is Aqua. I think this is from the brand Misha. I don't know if Misha is the brand or I don't know, but this is Sha, the sunscreen. And she recommended this. She said she uses it. Whenever she uses it, her skin has this glow, and people always compliment her, and she's right. This sunscreen is amazing, guys. I can't even blab enough about it. And I love the packaging. I love the nozzles because it helps you not to waste the products. Like, I have nothing to complain. And even though it's small, you'll be like, oh, it's so small for the money. But because of the way it was built, a little goes with, like, just put a little, dab it on your face and use like maybe a couple of, like, I usually use like 2 fingers or three, but I don't do the whole here, and because you waste product. So if you manage this well, it can last you. And that's why I like that I have the two. If it's on a day where maybe I'm just spending like maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour outside, I'll use this. If I know I'm going to be spending more prolonged time outside, I would use this. I think that is it. The only thing I did want to mention is the acid peel I mentioned to you guys about. So this is from The Ordinary. This is 30% AHA and BH and 2% BHA. Is a 2-minute exfoliating facial. Now, for this, I don't use it as often as I do now, but when I was going ham on my skin, I used to use this all the time. This I would recommend to use maybe once a week. Whenever you know you're going to use this, wash your face with a gentle face wash. In fact, I would say use this at night. Do not use this in the morning. Even if you're applying sunscreen, use this at night. The morning, use this gentle face wash. Use a gentle, maybe a gentle moisturizer and a sunscreen if you are going out. Keep it simple in the daytime. At night, you would also use this. Hmm? After you pat dry, then you use this. The instruction says to put it on your face, leave it for 10 minutes and rinse. When you rinse it and pat dry, go straight to your moisturizer, and it has to be a moisturizer without any active ingredients, guys. So the last thing that I did want to mention is my face steamer. In a vlog that I shot, I did show when I went to get this from, I think I got it from Konga or Jumia. I really saw the benefits of a face steamer. A face steamer will allow your skincare to seep through. So let me tell you how I will use this. That's the main goal. So the main goal is for this to open up your pores so your products will sink in better. So typically in spas, they will use this before applying a mask. So after I wash my face, I will go straight in, plug this in, steam my face. Then I'll use the clay mask. I usually mix my clay mask with apple cider vinegar and it works fine. So once I steam my face, I don't leave, like immediately I steam my face, I'm up and I'm applying the, because I don't like to leave it for long. And then after I use the clay mask, and let it dry, I will clean it off and you can steam your face one more time before you apply your toner. The toner will really sink in. After that, I'll apply my daily brightening serum. Once it dries a little, then I'll apply my moisturizer and it works amazing. And if you don't have a clay mask, you can just use this. Once you use it, apply your toner, apply your serum and your moisturizer, and it just helps open up your pores to let your products sink in more. Sometimes when you have applied so many products, there could be a build up in your pores, so this is a good idea and it can help you open up your pores. If you don't have a steamer, you can put a boiling water, cover your face with towel and let the steam open up your pores. If you don't want to buy this, I just found this more convenient and that's why I got it. And I think I got it like 8K and it works really well. So these two are not like everyday things. I probably do them these days once every 2 weeks. But back when my skin was not doing well, I did it more often. Before I go, I also want to briefly touch on body care. I used to break out on my chest and my back. The advice I would give you if you do is stop using scrubs. Like, I don't care how gentle they say it is, especially if you don't want to risk it, just stop with the scrubs. Stop using actual bar soaps, except maybe soaps like Sebamed that are made to suit your body pH and all. Like, there's something in soap, I don't know what it is, but something in bar soaps that breaks me out really bad. I'm no scientist, but I had heard someone say it. I tried it, and that was how my back knee disappeared. It wasn't even about sponge. Initially, I thought it was about using sponge in my body, and I was using just the soap, but I was still breaking out here and there. But once I just cut out bar soaps and I stuck to body washes, it totally disappeared. Currently, this is what I'm using. I'm using this Dr. Teal one, vitamin C. I actually just got this. This is my first time. Typically, I would use either one from St. Ives or I would use one from Dove. I think it's Dove. They are more inexpensive, but I wanted to give this a go and see if to have any brightening effects. To be honest, for me, don't see much. It smells really nice though. So that's it, bro. I might not be repurchasing this as it is a little bit pricey. My St. Ives and my Dove are a little bit cheaper for me, so I will probably go back to that. But this smells really good. Perhaps over time I will see more results, but for now I might not be repurchasing this. But use body washes. Like you can see, this doesn't have any micro beads in it. So try to avoid body washes that have very strong micro beads. St. Ives does have one that has a little finely milled micro beads that basically melt on your body. Those are fine. But like Fair and White has the one that has the micro beads in them. Please don't use those. And use like a soft loofah. You don't have to use only, some people like, oh, use only soap. But no, I've found that if I use this and a soft loofah, I don't break out as much. So that's one thing I did want to share with you. I don't think I've really had issues with lotions in the past, to be honest, breaking me out or anything, because, like, the skin on your body is always tougher. But right now, these are the two combos I've been using. This is from Medix. Everyone knows this. But yeah, I started using this a little while back. I don't know that I see the difference so much. I mean, I did have a spot on my lap from swimming that was really dark, and it's blending in. So this doesn't brighten your skin and make you look crazy, but it will blend in your skin. And if there are any hyperpigmentation spots, it will balance it out. So this is not bad. It's a little bit pricey. I typically use Nivea, but recently I've been using this. So I'll be going back and forth from Nivea and this, and I've also been using this Neutrogena body oil, which I've seen great reviews about, and I think it's working fine. So these two are typically what I've been using. Sometimes I mix both of them. Like today, I use only this one. All depends on my mood, because my room, the AC was on, everywhere was cold, and I was like, let me just use the oil. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all about what I said about my skincare routine, or you have any experiences you want to share, or anything in the comment section that may be helpful to somebody else who is struggling with pimples and acne, do leave it down below. And I guess I would see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.